everyone, this is Sruthi, Murali and Varsha S from Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CUG, ACT and SAP. Today we'll be interviewing Mr.Sivan Ammamuthu, Mr.Brijesh Kiruba, Mr.Saravanan Thinagarasamy from Impiger Technologies. We're pleased to have you here.
You studied in EC and how did it, what experience did you get in that and how did it change your career?
If you look at from EC, right, what EC taught me is the way you analyze any problem statement and then you are able to relate it with the fundamentals of science, which is your mathematical concept, the computing concepts, and then finally it translates into business, right? That is what EC is all about, right? We talk about anything, we talk about sine waves, cos waves, and then it translates into CRT, then it goes into all the automation related, right? So that's how it works. The way I leverage these EC concepts in my day-to-day life as an IT software engineer in 1994 was that how these are impacting. So the first program that I did was on control systems. For example, how to gauge the pressure. That was my project itself. How to measure the temperature. So how do I translate that parameter of temperature, which I wrote some code and used some control systems and then translated into the monitor display, right? So those time, that's the project that I did. So how my EC helped is to understand the fundamentals better, and then I built on top of it the software. That's how I learned it and that's how I leveraged it. Probably I did incremental versions as I moved forward, but the key element is learning and adaptability. So that's how probably I was able to grow myself.
So, in spite of this growing technology and demands in IT industries, there exists a term called unemployment among fresh graduates. So, what do you think about this and strategies to overcome this?
Okay. Say today there is nothing called unemployment for freshers, right? If you look at the latest news, right, TCS is going to hire about 1 lakh plus people from colleges, and you look at any top IT companies, maybe smaller or larger companies, right? They have huge plans to hire freshers. If you look at the industry pyramid, the organization pyramid, the bottom of the pyramid, every company will have a lot of freshers, right? And about 40% normally the bottom of the pyramid will be freshers. So definitely every fresher will get job opportunity. So definitely there is no question of unemployment for freshers.
Okay, maybe common among graduates.
Graduates, okay. So today, graduates, right? Every graduate has got a very specific role to play in specific industry, right? If somebody is a BCom graduate or somebody is a non-computer science graduate, they will get a lot of opportunities in the banking, retail, and also on the commercial space, right? Definitely, if you look at BSc graduates who has done computer science or IT. Right, a lot of companies, for typically today's for low code, no code, for testing kind of roles, a lot of companies prefer to take a lot of graduates who are from computer science or from IT. And even if you look at the courses today, like a lot of BCom guys, they even study IT. BCom with a combination of IT. Right. So today everybody will get employment, but only thing is they need to sharpen their skills, analytical skills. They should develop certain other skills like communication. Right, their ability to articulate, their ability to interpret things, right? And only thing what they need is they need passion. And if somebody wants to work on the technology space, they need to be technology curious to get jobs. Did I answer your question?
Yes, definitely.
So, what advice would you give to aspiring software professionals?
You can take it up.
Okay, I would like to take up this question. So if you ask me, typically there are two values from the hiring perspective for any software professionals. One is right values and other is a SWAT values. I call it as RITE, respect, integrity, trust and empathy, which Dean was talking about, Shivan was talking about during this session. And the other is the SWAT. A lot of companies use a SWAT hiring methodology, SWAT. S stands for smart, you need to be smart. W stands for working hard working, right? And A stands for articulate. Whatever that you know, whatever that you have studied, you should be able to articulate the way the other person can understand it. And the last T stands for technology curious. Typically for IT professionals, you need to be technology curious. You should be able to communicate, and you should have respect for your profession, respect for your friends, respect for your company, respect for your customers. You should have respect for anything that you do, right? And then integrity. So these are the values like right and SWAT will definitely will help IT professional to grow in their career.
I think Saravanan added right like all the pointers, but I'll be more suggesting from the adaptability to the market trends and the emerging tech, right? Like where the forecast, right? Like how the market is being moving, right? The students should be able to adapt to that. They should be able to forecast it better. And as Saravanan was mentioning, right? Like there are a lot of opportunities, so people have to find out like where the opportunities are there and how we are, how passionate you are towards that, and where it will be guiding you. That would be your point. So, from my perspective, right, am I relevant today? Because what is relevant yesterday is not relevant today, right? So always, constantly, everybody has to ask the question that am I relevant today for this current industry or not, right? So what you need to do to be relevant? So you have to hone your skills, understand what the business is looking for, and more importantly, the softer side of skills. For example, communication, presentation. Because you can learn a lot, you can code a lot, but at the end of it, if you are unable to communicate it better, then it's not going to add too much of value. So the way you want to articulate it also is very important. So that's the way I would say that, to summarize it, be relevant to the industry and hone your soft skills. Those two are extremely important for all the software engineers.
And I have another point to add. Okay. So just to add, right, for software professionals starting as a fresher, see, career is a long journey, right? You will start your career at the age of 21, 22, and probably you'll work till 56 or 55, right? It's a career is a span of 35 years. It's like a marathon. So what is very important for a fresher who's going to start their career in IT, right? The initial stages of the career will be slow, right? And you need to have patience. It's like a marathon, right? In a marathon race, right, normally the athlete will start. The starting will be very slow, but the ending will be fast, right? If you want to end, if you want to run with more speed, you need to have that patience and energy to run the last mile, the last leap. So career is like that. So today, what is the issue is, a lot of IT professionals when they start, they want to grow very fast. In 5 years, 10 years, they wanted to reach to the top, and then, right, they get pissed off, they get frustrated, they get bored, right? They wanted to end their professions in end of the 15th or 20th year. But it's a long journey, it's a long marathon. So a lot of freshers, they want to be very successful, they need to be steady, they need to be consistent, they need to have a lot of patience to learn a lot of things. There will be changes in technology. Every 6 months once, even there is going to be change in technology. They should be mentally prepared to work in different projects, newer technologies, rather than having a mindset to work in a particular technology, particular project alone for 2 years or 3 years types. So that is very important for the growth of software professionals. It's very dynamic. You need to be very dynamic in terms of learning new things, acquiring new things. That's very important.
So Impiger Technologies' vision involves giving back to society, right? So can you brief upon that?
So, giving back to society, right? It is nothing but giving back to the roots. So, where are you coming from? So, we all come from different parts of the social organization, right? So, I come from Madurai, he comes from, let's say, Chennai? Tuticorin. So, he comes from Tuticorin. So, he comes from Madurai. So, we all come from different regional backgrounds. Similarly, we have different societal backgrounds, right? All the backgrounds. So, that's where we are coming from. So, what we are very strongly believing in is, how do we go back to the roots? How do we give back to the roots so that we uplift everybody in the organization, not in the organization, in the society? That's our fundamental thing. How we can do that? It is multiple ways. One, it could be through the form of education. It could be a form of helping the needy people. That's another way. Or a lot of other upliftment activities, right? So there are a lot of poor kids, orphans who are there. So there are various ways in which we can do. So our whole thought process is how do we go back to the root, understand what is the problem that is there in the root, and how do we really help them and bring them also up. It is not about how do I grow as an individual, it is about how do we grow the entire society to a level so that everybody can live happily. That's what it means.
What is the future goal for Impiger Technologies?
Okay, on the soft side probably I can answer, on the business side probably Sivan will answer. Say today we are 400 plus people, we are small, we are nimble, right, and we are very flat, absolutely zero hierarchy, right, anybody can reach out to anybody. So it's a very aspirational company, right, and we wanted to create an aspirational company. We wanted to make our organization the most preferred place for a lot of young bloods like you to come and join us, grow with us. We wanted to be the best employer for women's, right, and while saying this, definitely in the next 3 to 5 years time, we would like to be part of the Fortune 500 company in the list, for which we really wanted to be truly aspirational, and we want to create an aspirational company. While saying this, we want to do a lot of disruptions, right? We don't want to be the same company for everybody. As a lot of things keeps changing, we wanted to be different organization for different people, right? It means we should be able to fulfill the aspirations of different layers of professionals who will be coming and joining us and working with us.
So from a business perspective, if you look at, so today we are dealing with IT services, right, as a digital transformation organization. Where we would like to be is how do we transform the business of our clients in a more collaborative way. That's our aim. Are we doing it today? Yes, we are doing it today, but are we doing it enough is the question. Where we want to really focus on how do we transform the business. How do we do that? We need to really understand how the business operates. Probably that's an area where we are stepping in, and we don't want to step in as a partner or an outsourcing vendor. So you want to be a collaborative strategic partner. So that's the way we are moving from a model perspective. And if you look at from a technology perspective, so today we are talking about what are the various technical skills based on which we develop certain applications or websites. But tomorrow what we want to do is how do we lay the enterprise architecture for the organization and how we can contribute together in the architecture so that we all grow together. So that's the way we are thinking towards. That's where we talk about not only digital transformation, we talk about digital intelligence. So that's the way we are moving forward. Anything you want to add? Anything you cover?
So just to add to what Sivan spoke about, as a company we are more focused on digital transformation, right? I spoke about we want to be an aspirational company. We wanted to bring a lot of human transformation, right? When I say human transformation, definitely when you go through a process of digital transformation, human transformation plays a major role, right? So while saying this, we wanted to ensure that we wanted to humanize the working environment. As we want to grow fast, right? Whenever a company is growing very fast, right, there will be a lot of blind spots, right, which will actually pull us down. So we wanted to very cautiously ensure that such blind spots are being identified, and we are not so aggressive in terms of managing people, but how do we humanize the working environment so that people will have a kind of empathetic leadership in place, so that everybody should come to work very happily and work very happily and deliver seamlessly to the customer.
What are the hiring methodologies in Impiger Technologies?
So we have different techniques to hire people. We also have the traditional ways of doing a kind of online assessment and then group discussion, technical interview followed by an HR interview. But in the recent past, we had a different thought process, right? We just don't want to select people based on their scores or numbers. We want to select people who has got potential, right? While saying this, for us really the qualification, from which discipline do they come, right? What percentage of scores they have got really doesn't matter to us. If people have potential, right, then we are ready to hire them. Hire for potential, right? So that's what we truly believe in. And while saying this, in the recent past, we have also moved from traditional assessment methods to a design thinking process, right, where we will not have any test, but people will be asked to participate in a design thinking workshop and they'll be given a problem statement, and their ability to solve the problem will help them to clear the assessments, and we should be able to hire them.
Anything you want to tell about this initiative interview by Guindy Times with collaboration with ITRIX?
I can say a few words. It was really good. After a long time I'm doing this interview. So it's almost I think 5 years back I have done one interview in Paris for a different purpose. So that was the first time I did. There it was a different set of questions, different set of professional people who do the interview. I think today I didn't feel the difference where you all did it very professionally from the way you are shooting it, the way you have asked the questions, that's all very professional. I think so I didn't see any difference in that dimension. That is a good work from each one of you. That's one. The second one is the structure of the questions. So where you try to cover multiple dimensions. I think that's another wonderful thought process. You covered business, you covered people, you covered soft skill perspective. You talked about the input of the students, the inflow of the students, and what is the business expecting, but in your own way, right? We try to explain in our sense, but I think that's another excellent thing that I felt. Maybe you want to add?
I think with that we'll wrap up the interview, and on behalf of GT and Anna University, I thank you for your valuable time, and we look forward to having you more in future events.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.